It's been a roller coaster of a week and a half for the Arsenal, for its supporters, for Ryan and I, who spent the better part of the past week in Chicago at Goonerpalooza. We'll talk a little bit about that. Probably no way for us to get everything into 60 to 90 minutes, dating all the way back to the Aston Villa match. But we've got Jackson, three-point sniper, is here with us. There may be a few others jumping in as time rolls on. Let's quit wasting time and listening to me talk. Let's get to it. How's it? Welcome into another episode of Loose Cannons. I'm the bearded Gooner beside me with a fresh haircut, looking good. He got all trimmed up. Ryan from the Arse Bros, and welcome back to the show. Please, Jackson, at 3-Point Sniper on Twitter, the College Hoops Wizard. Jackson, I'll start with you, man. How are you? Welcome back.
Oh, I'm doing great. Obviously, the result yesterday has me in a fantastic mood. I don't know about you guys, but a lot of my friends that are, into soccer, into the Premier League are Chelsea fans. So it was great to stick it to them yesterday. Couldn't happen to better people.
Well, it could. Those people show up on Sunday. But point is certainly well taken. Fresh cut. Do you feel 15 pounds lighter there, sir? With the all the hair that's gone now?
No, I don't. I guess I feel lighter after the performance we put in yesterday. I'll say that.
2 days ago.
2 days, yeah.
Yeah, but no, yesterday, really crapping the bed against Everton. Hey, shout out to the Toffees everywhere. That's a big win for you guys.
I had two of my friends, big Everton fans, just text me, "You're welcome." So, not that we need your help, but thank you.
You know what? But
Tricky result, by the way. They really stuck it to Liverpool. I watched the majority of that match, and that was not really a fluke at all.
Right? Yeah. From what I saw, I mean, Everton were certainly looked like they were on the front foot yesterday in that. Unfortunately, today is not going to go the way that we were. Certainly not the way that we were all hoping it was going to go. I believe they're at halftime, and yeah, it's not looking good for the Gulls down there on the South Coast. 3-0 to Manchester City. I have not watched any of that at all. I have no idea how the goals were scored, if there's any controversy in this game at all. But yeah, it's 3-0 to the evil empire, if you will. So I guess let's. I don't know. Where do we want to start here, boys? It's been 11 days, and there's a lot I feel like to talk about. I really kind of don't know. Do we want to just kind of work backwards, or do we want to go jump all the way back to Villa and work our way forward? What do you think?
I think you guys should talk about your trip first. Let the viewers hear the fun you had.
Yeah, all right, fair. Chicago was a good time. Ryan kept his clothes on for the most part. There was no there were no feces being slung anywhere that I'm aware of. So no, what? Chicago was a good time. It was really cool to attend an event like that where it's just purely Arsenal, and everybody, from really all parts of the country coming in. It just overall a good time. I mean, a lot of really cool events that the Chicago Gooners put on for us. Shout out to Dilly and Kale and Crystal and Danny and everybody involved with the Chicago Gooners for an absolutely fantastic time, and a great job of getting all of that organized. Raised money for 3 really good charitable causes. one local to Chicago. Go to Arsenal Vision and Elliot Yankee Gunner on Twitter to learn more about the Syrian refugees in Jordan that he and Arsenal Vision and the club itself are supporting, as well as and from the Gooners Pod, Magic Mike, and the excellent job that he does with Gooners versus Cancer. So 3 great charitable causes there that we were able to raise some money for over the weekend. But yeah, I had a blast. It was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, a lot of fun. So Ryan.
No, I mean, you pretty much said it. It was a lot of fun. I got to try deep dish for the first time.
Yeah,
I did. Honestly, I think for me, my opinion is cheese is on top, sauce is on the bottom.
Yeah.
So I was a little nervous when I saw it. Good.
It
Very
is.
good.
I do know why, though. I do know why they do it this way now. It's a structural integrity thing.
Well,
The dough will basically absorb. There's so much dough with deep dish that it will just absorb the sauce, and you'll just be left with what you don't like, which is chunks of tomatoes. Basically, I mean, the sauce will soak into the bread. You'll still have the flavor, but it won't be that. So basically, the cheese keeps the sauce saucy.
yeah.
Well,
for most of you that don't know, I'm a big pizza snob, so I was going in like, all right, get this fucking shit out of here. Like, what are we doing? It's very good. Is it better than your pizza? No. I'm always gonna like your pizza.
Says the guy from Long Island.
Yeah, but it's very good. I know everyone's talking about how New Haven is the king of pizza. I do not agree. I do put it above New Haven pizza as my second favorite pizza.
New Haven pizza is like the king of pizza.
Yeah, that's what everyone's saying. It's
like
like
not New York City.
It's thin and burnt, and everyone in the pan. That's the thing. I don't. That's what I hear. But yeah, we went to 3 different places. 2 of the places were really good, and one of the places was not. I won't diverge which one of the places was not good. Maybe off air. But yeah, no. It was surprisingly good. I had my doubts. I don't want to say I had my mind made up, but I was pleasantly surprised at how good it was.
What did you get at Portillo's? I don't remember what you got at Portillo's.
Oh yeah, we went there too. I was fat. I got a chili cheese dog and
okay, so you didn't get a
beef
Chicago
sandwich.
Dog.
No, that's the thing too. Like, so for anyone that's never been to Chicago, they do not like ketchup on their hot dogs. And that's all I get on my hot dogs is ketchup. I don't like relish. I don't like mustard. I don't like sauerkraut. I don't like any of that stuff. So I was like, not nervous. I'm not really a hot dog guy to begin with. You would think otherwise, but yeah, no, it was okay. The Italian beef sandwich was, it's just I don't want to be mean, but it's just it's like a Philly cheesesteak, but not
as cheesy.
Not as cheesy. It's a little bit smaller. It's a little bit, I don't, for lack of a better word, it's a little bit more wet.
Yeah,
I guess for steam.
Yeah.
But it was good. The fries, it's funny, and I think I said this to you, Tannen, when we were in Chicago. Something that I noticed, I mean, it's really hard to fuck up a French fry, but everywhere I went, the French fries were very, very good. And Portillo's was probably my favorite place for the French fries. French fries were very good. I was kind of drunk when we got there. I got a chocolate shake, right? Chocolate shake was really good too.
Yeah, you got some sort of a shake at Portillo's.
Yeah, I don't remember which one.
So
it's very good.
For the viewers, real quick, before we get to Arsenal, everywhere we went, Ryan got French fries everywhere. Like it didn't even matter. Like at breakfast, I think he got French fries.
For one of the places I did, yeah, I got.
He got French fries and he got some sort of a milkshake. Like it's like
it was very stupid of me on.
Swear to you, everywhere we went, he got a shake and he got fries. It didn't matter. Like pizza, he got a side of fries.
And if he didn't have a shake, I got chocolate milk.
Or yeah, and he got chocolate milk.
Dude, that chocolate milk was. I have to say, that chocolate milk was. That's the thing that I will die on this hill. I don't. It's definitely not as easy as people think to make a good glass of chocolate milk. I don't want to say it's very hard. It's for me, for my taste buds, it's difficult to get that ratio of milk to chocolate syrup or whatever you use. very, very delicate
Brown
ratio.
cows. They just use brown. It just comes from brown cows, Ryan.
Yeah. It's a very delicate ratio. So for me, like a good glass of chocolate milk and if I'm co-signing that glass of chocolate milk, it's a good fucking glass of chocolate milk because it was
And shout out to
I could use
Irene's.
I could use some right now because it was very, very good.
Shout out to a place we had breakfast at one day, Irene's. The orange juice.
Was that the chocolate? Oh, the orange juice.
The orange juice. And it was like,
yeah.
and I'm like, okay, it's very clearly freshly squeezed orange juice. Like I'm telling you, they squeezed it that day.
But
I'm telling you, there was
something was in there. They wouldn't tell us.
They wouldn't. They're just like, oh, it's just freshly squeezed. Like, no,
bullshit.
There's definitely something.
There's something else in there. That's true. The orange juice was very, very good.
Gregory, I got to tell you, like experiencing this with Ryan, I think I contracted diabetes watching all of the carbs and the sugar that he took in during this trip was like I've never seen anything like this. And I love sugar. I love sugar. I have a sweet tooth like you wouldn't believe. But yeah, it was like a chocolate shake or some sort of chocolate-y shake and French fries and the.
I knew it's funny we talk about this, and I do like those things to be wrong, but I knew I fucked up when we went to the Golden Pancake where I got an Oreo shake.
Oh yeah,
and it was such a dumb move on my part. An Oreo shake and then chocolate chip pancakes. and it was funny because I was like, oh, like so the way they make their chocolate chip pancakes was the way I like chocolate chip pancakes is when they put the chocolate chips in the dough. A lot of places they'll say, oh, chocolate chip pancakes, but it's really pancakes with like chocolate chips on top. Where I'm like, that's okay. You just put chocolate chips on top of pancakes.
You didn't cook the chocolate chips into the pancakes.
Yeah, you gotta cook the chocolate chips in the pancakes. They did that. Plus, they put the chocolate chips on top, which to me was like too much. It was too sweet. It was way too much. That's good. But yeah, I was like halfway. I mean, you saw what I did. I didn't even eat half of it. I was like, dude, this is so. And I knew I had a long day ahead of me. I was going to be drinking more. I definitely messed up that day. I mean, I was fine at the end of the day because I mean, didn't eat all of it. But anyways, I said I love food, so okay. But the rest, like Tana said, charities were awesome. Everybody that we met, was just awesome. Everyone was so nice. Definitely special shout out to Dilly and Kale. Made my wife and I just feel like we were just part of the team, part of Chicago, which I thought was awesome. She didn't have to do. It was a lot of fun. Got to drink some nice beverages.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
I don't know what you're saying. Don't say, but
he tried.
We got to meet friends. We got to meet friends that we were friends with on Twitter in person, which is really cool. Talk about everything, we talk about everything like besides Arsenal and making new ones, which is always fun because I think at the end of the day, and Magic Mike stressed this, and he couldn't be any more right, was this is like a family, and it's like corny. It's very, very corny, but it's just awesome just to I'll give a special shout out to two people in particular, John from 305 Cast and Jared. I think it's JC AFC. Jared, if I fucked it up, I'm sorry.
JC _
both awesome files for Arsenal content, but I met them and we didn't, and I actually probably going to bring this up to Jared at some point, but I really didn't talk Arsenal with him. I hung out with him for pretty much 2 days. Didn't really talk much Arsenal, like here and there, but it's just to show just how awesome people are and how much fun you can have. I did karaoke for the first time on a stage, which was interesting to say the least.
What'd you go with?
So I did. So what did I do? What were we? The Declan Rice posse.
The Declan Rice posse, because we did Ice Ice Baby.
We did Rice. We did Ice Baby.
Nice.
Who was it? It was me, you, Jared, and Goonerworks, which is another good follower.
Yeah.
Give him follows to Goonerworks. And then Tanner did I Believe in a Thing Called Love, and I did a surprise cameo, I hopped on stage in the middle of the song and I grabbed the other mic. Yeah, I mean the drinks are flowing, everything was. I don't regret it. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was. My wife was on the stage probably more than anybody. And for anyone that watches Arsenal Vision, Paz gave her stock falling for her hogging the karaoke machine. That's what he said. He said it, not me. He was very upset that she was on the karaoke machine for so long. And Elliot did promise to do a duet with her next time. We're around. So yeah, I mean, I could talk about this trip all day. It was so much fun, a lot to do. Got to meet awesome people who you'll probably see on this channel, maybe a little more, which is awesome to hear.
Well, spoiler, next Thursday we have Jared.
Yeah.
So next Thursday,
already
spoiler.
plug in. Don't worry, BX, you didn't miss anything. We're just talking about our Chicago trip.
Yeah.
Did I Google on the plane ride home Papa Shot for the house to maybe practice on? I might have. I think to me that was also a lot of fun. We went to a arcade bar and we played Papa Shot. We played like arcade games, and I realized I am really bad at Simpsons bowling, and I need to practice with that too because that game was a lot of fun. But all the guys are really good at that game. Yeah, I mean, I think we just do a whole show, not today, but just about our trip because it was so much to do, so much fun. And I can't wait to do it again, whether it's Goonerpalooza or just going to
some other Gooner meetup,
maybe basically. Maybe a South Carolina meetup. I don't know. Go to South Carolina, take in what the Gooners there have to offer, watch a game, and just hang out because that's something that I actually had a kind of a passion about. Like that's if when I win the lottery eventually or Arsenal hire me, a big thing I like to do is going to every every state sometimes has 2 or 3 places they watch the game, but just go to like different places and just watch the game with fans of Arsenal throughout America and take in like their bar, their hometown place, their food, their drinks, their culture, what they do. That's why every place is different. Me and Tanner watched the Champions League game at one bar and we watched the Wolves game at another, and the atmosphere and the vibe was just so different. And it wasn't a bad different. It was just different. So it's a lot of fun, and I recommend everyone definitely just do it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So according to Magic Mike, the next one is the Big Gooner meetup or something in Florida. I don't know where in Florida, but that supposedly is the next one, and it's coming in the fall, new season. So it'll be sometime.
Awesome. I can tell my wife we're going to Disney, but I'm going there instead. It's perfect.
Right.
I lured my wife to come with me for the Chicago Cubs, and I'm going to lure my wife to this one for Disney. And maybe is baseball? No, baseball's not. Baseball's in the fall, right? I don't fucking know.
Playoffs. Boring. Maybe. Ryan's not a baseball guy. I am. And getting to go to Wrigley was cool. So that's like a bucket list thing for me and I think any baseball fan to go to. I've been to Fenway. Been to Fenway quite a few times actually, but crossing off Wrigley from that list is. So I've been to Old Yankee Stadium. Honestly, as much as I hate to say this, the last place really that I would like to see a baseball game in, if we're just, baseball, would be Dodger Stadium. It's still the Dodger Stadium of the 50s. It's the original. It's Chavez Ravine, but most everything else is new. Now, I never got to see Tiger Stadium. Old Tiger Stadium, which would have been cool. That's a bit of a, not a regret. That was gone really before I even really had a chance to kind of start traveling. But that Dodger Stadium's probably really the last one. And I would say, I'd say the Oakland Coliseum, but it's a shithole and it's a football stadium where they play baseball. It was built for football. Built for baseball. So, but Wrigley was a good time. Windy. There's definitely a reason that they call it the Windy City.
Okay,
But-
this is the last thing I'm going to talk about Chicago. That's not why they call it the Windy City. In fact, out of all the major cities in the United States, Chicago is 50th, 5-0, as far as like wind pressure, wind speeds. So it's called Windy City because of like politicians or something. They're called like windbaggers. I don't know. My wife dragged me on like an architectural tour around the city of Chicago. That was one of the things I listened to. It's not that. I mean,
Yeah,
to be fair, it was very windy.
fair.
It was very windy in Chicago. Don't get me wrong, but like, it's not called the Windy City because it's so windy.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
There you go.
I'm just Windy City because of the wind blowing in off the lake. This will be the last thing that I will say about Chicago. The water at Lake Michigan. We walked Navy Pier, and looking at the water, I really expected it to be dirty, like litter, not dirty, like, things, blowing into the lake. I just thought it would have been dirtier. I was very surprised at how crystal blue, not crystal clear, but like blue. The water's very, very blue, which was kind of, as dumb as this sounds. It was nice to see. Like, I've been to Baltimore, and you walk down to Inner Harbor, and it's just it like the water lapping up against the concrete, the shore, whatever you want to call it. It's just full of garbage, whether it be human garbage or leaves or sticks or logs that have somehow blown into the white. But Lake Michigan is clean. Like, it looked clean, and it was I'll say a pleasant surprise, because I fully expected it to just be absolutely filthy. But yeah, Chicago was a great time for anyone here, anyone abroad, anyone, anywhere. I don't care where you are. If you have an opportunity to come to America and attend one of these events, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun. These supporters clubs over here are fantastic at setting up different events for these things. It was just a lot of fun. It really was. So I highly recommend it, and I'm very much looking forward to the next one that I'm able to attend, wherever that may be. So stay tuned. The Bearded Gooner is coming to a city near you at some point. Anyway, on to Arsenal. So we really, Ryan, I don't even remember. Did we do a show after Aston Villa?
No,
I don't remember.
I don't think so.
I mean, Villa was 2 Sundays ago, and I don't remember doing a show. So I mean, and it's 11 days ago. I don't even know.
I don't even remember the game. So
I mean, this is all I'll say. We did do a show. Now that I think about it, we did. At some point, somewhere we did. Because I remember talking about basically a tale of two halves. So I guess we'll go back to, let's start with Bayern. We'll rewind all the way back, but we'll start with Bayern and Jackson. I want to get your take on, I mean, obviously we're disappointed that we're out, but if you can think back, a little over a week ago, what were your thoughts coming out of that match?
Honestly, it was pretty short and sweet. My thoughts on that match. I just thought it was just a professional performance by Bayern. I mean, they didn't do anything crazy, but they also, stayed in perfect shape, didn't give us many opportunities. And we kind of looked lost trying to chase the game a little bit in the second half, if I'm being honest. And I think what we saw it happen this past match, and we'll get into it, but I think we really missed, maybe getting Jorginho off of the pitch a little bit sooner and trying to play some more advanced balls through the midfield. But, I mean, basically they were in control. I never thought that we had an advantage in that match. And like I said, it's going to come with experience. There's a lot of guys on their roster that have, played tons of Champions League games. And, again, this is our first time in the competition in a long time. So I was kind of, I was upset, definitely, but I think that the tie was probably lost in the first leg when we didn't come away with the victory at the Emirates.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only thing I'll add and Ryan jump in, but I thought we were passive. I thought we played a little scared. We were trying to play to not lose, and I'm fairly certain that I'm taking that from Ryan, because I think you said something very similar to me on the day, that we just looked. I don't think we looked nervous. I nervous isn't the word I would use to describe it. I mean, passive, yes. I don't know about scared. I don't think we looked scared. I think we just, like, I don't really know what it is we were trying to do, because we really didn't look we didn't look incisive. We didn't look dangerous. We didn't look particularly interested in trying to even score. We looked like we wanted to hold the ball, but we couldn't. So it was, they had their opportunities. We really didn't have any of our own. We could have. I feel like, closer we get to the final third, we just kind of stopped. Like, okay, let's just kind of hold on to it here. Let's just slow everything down. Let's just everybody take a deep breath and, Ryan, jump in. That's like I say, I know I'm taking words from you, so jump in here.
I mean, I will say I thought our first half I thought we played well in the first half. I think we were the better team. I mean, was it obvious? I don't think it was obvious. I did think, if you had a lead, I guess we're not scoring this to fight, but if you had to score this to fight, I would have said 10-9 Arsenal. But I mean, that doesn't matter. In the second half, I think that Bayern just showed who Bayern is, and yes, Bayern is they're not having a good season. They're still Bayern. They still have a good team. They won Champions League 2-3 years ago with pretty much the same team, similar team. And when you're playing a big club like this, nicking a 1-0 is going to be hard. We did it against Porto. We did it a little bit earlier in the season, and that was kind of like our Achilles heel for a while, is we couldn't see games out. We couldn't nick that 1-0 and take the 3 points and get out of Dodge. We always had trouble, just like, just what I just said. But I think when you go up against a team like Bayern, nicking that 1-0, it's not going to be easy. They've so much talent spread out throughout their entire 11, and even they had talent on the bench too. I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you. Like Muller, one of my favorite German players, I don't know how many minutes he even played across both legs. And he normally starts for Bayern, but just based on who we have, what we do, Tuchel thought it was best not to play him. And in my opinion, I think it was the right move for sure. I think Bayern picked one. We made a few mistakes, but that's what big teams do, to capitalize on the mistakes. And we're not in the Champions League anymore. And I hate people saying like, oh, I've seen on social media, how bad, like, oh, how we lose this Bayern team. This Bayern team is so shit. They can't even win the Bundesliga. I mean, obviously, Bayern or Leverkusen are setting records over there. Thank you, Gregory. I think this Bayern team is still very good, and I think people kind of underestimate. It's just like big clubs who are used to Champions League, who have been in the Champions League, year in, year out. And Bayern is one of those teams. They just know what they need to do to win. The players have experienced it. Now our players are starting to experience it, which is good for us. And you look back at it, like, how long did it take Pep to win the Champions League with City? It was a while. So I think we just have to take these experiences and just keep going forward. We have a real shot at this league. It's not dead, even though City's now 4-0. But I'm one of those people who I don't measure our season based on trophies. Like, yeah, it'd be nice to win the Champions League. Yeah, it'd be amazing to win the Premier League. Like these will all be great things. But I think we're having such a phenomenal season. I'm happy with what we're doing. I'm happy with the progress that we've made. I'm happy how much better we've gotten, how close the team has gotten. And I'm excited to kind of bring players in and to upgrade us into being a Champions League, semi-finalist, into being a Premier League title favorite instead of a challenger. And all those, it just comes with experience and time.
Well, you said it. You hit the nail on the head. It's Pep didn't win it in his first year. He didn't win it. He didn't win it in his first year at City. So we're on the right track here. And I agree that I don't measure. Like, I'm not going to be one of those people that says, well, we didn't win a trophy, so Arteta's got to go. Like, I really don't think at any point in his tenure with this football club, I'm ever going to say that. If we start to digress under him, I will look at more of the style of play that we have than I will results of seasons and things like that to say, Arteta's got to go. It's time for a change. We're making progress under him. We are getting better. And the other thing to keep in mind too is just how young of a team we still are. and that's not something that I think can be. It can't be lost on you. It just can't be. It's not just the guy on the touchline barking out instructions. You've got to look at the players as well, and not that the players are doing poorly or anything like that. But they're young and they're still figuring out this world in which they work, because it's their job, but they're still figuring all of that out. And we do not have a player. I don't think there's a player on this team right now that is in his prime. Maybe Jorginho, maybe Partey.
I have to say, I would say Trossard.
Okay. I mean, I look at these guys, but I'll tell you this. I think there's room for them all to grow. I think, and I mean this, that if Jorginho, Partey, Trossard, if they're all back next year, even the year after that, they're going to grow as a player. They will start to decline. That's just the natural progression of your body and in a world of professional sports. But I still think that they would grow within Mikel Arteta's system and with his coaching. So I think they would still be able to bring something to the team if they were all around next year. Jackson, I mean, jump in here at any time, man. I don't know how you feel about any of what we're saying.
I agree with that sentiment and completely, almost honestly. I had a question going back to the game though. Do you think that coming off of the Villa performance, the way that we conceded in that second half with Martinelli just checking out and letting a free runner go in and score the goal, do you think that kind of led to us not really having much of a punch the rest of the game, or do you think it would have played out that way anyways, even if we didn't just come off of the Villa loss?
I think it would have played out because I think we were already a bit toothless against them. Ryan, you said before the game, and I hate that I keep kind of stepping on your toes here and quoting you instead of just letting you say it. But
sorry, giving me credit. I don't really care.
Yeah, it was gonna come down, and it was great. And this is one of those profound things that he's good for, like once a month. All right. But he said it was going to, either way, this was going to come down to us and what we do. We're either going to have a moment of brilliance to a game, or we've got a mistake in us that's going to cost us the game. And ultimately, it was the mistake that cost us, and we didn't have that moment of brilliance. So like I said, I think we were pretty toothless. I really think that we just kind of, I think we were waiting for them to make the mistake to try to capitalize. And quarterfinals of the Champions League, a club that has been there as often as Bayern have been, you're waiting for them to make a mistake. You're going to be waiting for a while. That it's not in them to make the mistake in that building, in that setting, at this stage. It's just not there. You're just. It's fool's gold to think they're going to make a mistake. Ryan?
No, I don't. I'm trying to think of something I want to add. I don't really think an add. I completely. I mean, I'd be adding to myself. So yeah, no, I don't. Perfect.
I'd be adding. Yeah, I'm just saying it for you. So
also, Stuart, you weren't late. Well, I guess you are late. We literally had. I literally had just said that like 10 seconds earlier. It's like I said it, and it was like a bad signal for you to come join us. So
The thing is, it is a disappointment to not win a trophy, to not be known as the best in something is disappointing when we look at how good the team is and we say we are one of the best teams in the world, not just England. We're one of the best teams in the world. So it's disappointing. Yes, don't misinterpret what I'm saying as I'm not disappointed. I'm immensely disappointed because I think we have a team that can win the Champions League, that can win the Premier League. But I think everything has to come with context. Okay, we're not the best team in the world right now. And while I see, and I think realistic fans see the progress that's being made and how we're doing, I also think it's I don't agree with the Arteta out crowd. This is just moaning for the sake of moaning. You're crying, but you don't know what you're crying about. What is that noise? Do I hear a plane?
yeah, that's why plane driving.
Okay, they're playing, boss. They're playing. That's just Arteta outers are people who are crying, but they don't know what they're crying about, or they're just miserable in their own existence.
That's insane.
So you want to shut them up real quick. Just say, okay, fine. He goes. Who replaces him?
I don't even
engage them either.
I need to address those people.
I don't want to call people out in case they watch it. They're probably not going to, but there were certain people. I'll say they were at one of the games that me and Tim were watching together, and very similar to what you were saying. They were yelling just to yell, and it was like they didn't know it. Like I just feel like they didn't know what they were yelling at, and it's just like you just sit back and you look at them and you watch, and I kind of was laughing at them. I'm like, what are you complaining about? Like there was a couple instances, but I'll just say one. I'm still a little vague, but there was an instance where I think Odegaard had the ball in the 18, and there was like 3 players surrounding him, and you hear a couple people yelling, "Shoot, shoot!" He had no idea. He was literally being mobbed by 3 players, and he didn't even have the ball at his feet to shoot. He was like still like trying to like gather the ball and like gain possession. And when he didn't shoot, they freaked out and they started yelling, why are you shooting? What the fuck? It's like I don't want to like make fun of their knowledge or I don't know what. I just laugh, and I'm just like, dude, you don't even know what you're yelling. Like you think you know what you're yelling at, you think you know what you're mad at, but you really don't. And you're gonna have that with any fan base. And let's be real here. As we like to call it, soccer, it's not like it is in England. So you're gonna have people that kind of, in a way, like kind of jump on the bandwagon. And so I lack of a better phrase, I guess, and kind of just like, oh, I know everything about soccer. I know this isn't. It's like, well, and it's tough for someone like me who's played soccer for almost 30 years plus. When you see people like say things like that, you're kind of just like it's just like cringe. It's like, no, like what are you talking about? And the kind of relating that to what you're saying, like, oh, we're not winning. We don't have a trophy. Like, get him out of here. We bought Arteta in to win trophies, which if you're under that assumption, then you really don't know what you're talking about. Because we knew this was a project, and all that. But again, to finish my thought, I won't be. I guess I'd be a little disappointed that we didn't win. I guess my feelings about not winning the trophy would kind of be my feelings about the end of the Bayern game. I was upset. I was disappointed. But I took positives out of it, and I was excited to see. I was excited, like, okay, like we're better than this. We're gonna be better than this. Like Gregory said, and I kind of pointed to when I saw the comment. It was a great comment. But the ceiling for this team is clearly higher than what we're doing. It's gonna get higher. We're gonna be better, and we're gonna be better for a long time. I mean, who knows? City might break a few more rules. They might throw money at more players. I don't know. But I think this unity that we have, this culture that we have, is gonna is going to eventually pay us dividends, and I think it's going to kind of bring us over the edge in certain cases or not. I mean, look at this. We took 4 of 6 off City. So we're obviously doing something right. And I know people just want that instant gratification. I want it too. A lot of people, to be fair, I'm impatient in certain points also, but I love this ride that I'm on. I love this team. I like everybody on this team. And like Tennis said, I just don't think many. I think there's a couple players that are in their prime right now for us, but I think the majority of the people they're just starting. And
I was going to say these opportunities aren't going away. We've shown we have the best defensive unit in the league by far, and none of those guys are aging or getting old at all. They're all very young. So they've already proven it this year. I mean, Rye's going to get the Golden Gloves. Saliba and Gabriel have been phenomenal. Benny Blanco having the season of his life. And then, once we figure out who exactly we want to be at left back, I mean, it's just going to make us even stronger. I mean, we do have a lot. I think we will probably try to address it maybe in the summer, but we have options in house. Timber could easily slot onto the left if he, gets healthy and comes back with strong form. Tomiyasu played great a couple of days ago. We still have Zinchenko. He might even be third in that depth chart with everybody healthy. We have a lot of the quality in house defensively that makes me, feel great about moving forward. And even if we don't, win the trophy over City this year, I mean, we're still probably going to lead the league in goal differential. We still have the best defense. We've got young wingers. We've got the best 10 in the league, in my opinion. He's created the most chances in Europe. So I think, there's, better days ahead for us, honestly.
And I think the best part is we're constantly evolving. And that's something that, again, kind of adding to us raising our ceiling and being better. We're constantly evolving. We're changing the mold. We have this left 8. We have an inverted fullback. We're doing things that no one's really seeing. I mean, yes, we're taking some pages kind of off Pep, but I think Arteta is kind of putting his own spin to it. And I think we're just going to get better. We're just going to kind of change the mold. We're going to evolve the game. We're going to – I guess I hold Arteta into higher regard than most. I think he's constantly changing the game, constantly evolving tactics, evolving formations. And I think – going back to what Stuart said, how close we are. We're showing the owners that we're getting there. You should give us money or give Arteta and Edu money. Let him make the change they need to make. And if the money is there, we can evolve even more. We could set the standard even higher. We might change up even more. We might be getting rid of the inverted fullbacks. Zinchenko might be gone. Yeah, just obviously just. For arguments, for examples, Zinchenko could be gone. We could be getting rid of the left 8, and maybe Odegaard sits back a little bit more, and we buy an attacking midfielder. There's so many different options we can do, so many different doors we can go down, ways we can go. And if the money's there, if the owners see we're right there. We took 4 off 6 from City. We made the quarterfinals. We're improving. We're getting there. We'll get the money, and we'll bring younger talent, and we'll bring in a couple superstars. Who knows, but. I just think that with a manager like Arteta, who can evolve with the tactics, evolve with this team, who he cares a lot about, and he's changed his culture around. He's probably the front runner in changing it. I really do. I really do think the sky's the limit for us, and it's going to be very. And I know, and I hate that I'm talking about this already, but I get like this every season, whether we're playing really well or really bad. But I can't wait for this window to come. I can't wait to see what we do as far as incomings. And also too, there should be a lot of outgoings. You have players just for example, Reece Nelson, who signed an extension. We had a lot of hope for him. He that goal against Bournemouth is going to be in the history books for Arsenal. Even though we didn't win the title, he didn't even make the bench against Chelsea. And then now Timber's going to be coming back into the fold too. We could talk about him a little bit later, but he's going to be coming back into the fold, and we don't know what he's going to be playing, but I think he has a role to play, whether it's off the bench or starting in the 11. It's going to be very interesting to see where we focus our money, where we focus our sales, because I believe that we have for as good as we are, I think that there are a few places that we need to upgrade on if we want to literally just keep going higher and higher up the ladder.
I think just real quick, because I want to highlight Gregory's comment here. 18 unbeaten, and I did verify this. It is 18 unbeaten. The last loss they had was in December in the league. The last loss they had was in December. It was 1-0 at Villa Park. So just to put things in perspective, and like he said in the comment, the standard in this league to beat them is so insanely high. And I said after the Villa game, I tweeted it out. I said, that's it. That's the league done. And I still, and this, like, I allow myself a little bit of hope. I allow myself to dream a little bit and think, could Brighton turn the trick today and just hold them, just draw, just earn a draw, and we're good. And we see what they're doing. And the Amex is a tricky place to go play, right? I mean, it's not now. They're doing the job 4-0. We did it 3-0 a few weeks back, but it is a tricky place to go play sometimes. I don't think Brighton are now what they were earlier in the season. But this is the standard. This is the level that we have to get to. We have to get to the level where I will say that Villa, by the way, did the same thing to City that we've done to them this year. They took 4 of 6 from them. They drew them 1-1 at their place and beat them 1-0 at Villa Park. But the other games that we have, some of these other the Fulham performance in December at Craven Cottage, we need to get rid of those. That's where the level is now. That's the next step. The next step now is, okay, you go up against, well, what will be a Kloppless Liverpool. So we don't know what they're going to be, but we know what City will be next year. We go up against City, and it's like, okay, split the points, split the season points with them 3-3. That's ideal. I mean, this year, we achieved better. We took 4 of 6 from them. That's fantastic. I think realistically, the hope is either 2 draws or a win at home and a loss away. I think that's reasonable. We don't know next season who's going to jump up. Does Chelsea figure it out and all of a sudden figure out the talent? I don't think so. But can the shitbags figure it out? I don't think.
I'm not worried about anybody else but City. If we're where we want to be, none of those teams are going to matter. They can get as good as they want to go. It's going to be us and City.
Beat the teams we're supposed to beat. We can't have the duds against Fulham. We can't have the dud against Villa that we had. We just can't. That's the level, especially at this time of year. These games are always going to get magnified more than that Fulham performance did. Either one of them, because we drew Fulham at home. But there's where the league is lost. The league isn't lost at home to Villa 2 weeks ago. The league was lost at Craven Cottage, and the Fulham match at home 3 weeks into the season when we drew them. That's where if we're really going to be honest with ourselves, that's where the problems lie. Beat those teams, because what you said earlier, I agree with you wholeheartedly. There really are maybe 3 positions in this team that we need to improve. The number 6, CDM. I guess you could theoretically say the left 8 and a 9. The left 8 and the 9 are, okay, well, if we figure out the 6 and we move Declan Rice into the 8, into that left 8, we're good. That pushes Kai to, but then where does Kai fit? Because it's being showed it's not working in that left 8 unless we're playing someone that we should absolutely kick the dog shit out of. It's not working. It's not working against the better teams. It can work against Bournemouth. I fully expect to potentially see him in that role against Bournemouth in 2 weeks. But I don't expect to see him there on Sunday. Now, these are all must-win games. But no one is going to look at the Bournemouth game. No one will actually say to you the Bournemouth game is a must-win game, because you only say it's a must-win game when you're worried about losing it. I don't think there's anyone that's going to be worried about us losing to Bournemouth. I'm not going to be. We should kick the dog shit out of them. But Kai Havertz will not play that role against Spurs on Sunday. He will not play that role going to Old Trafford in 3 weeks' time. It's that, or 2 weeks' time, I guess, really. It's just not going to, it shouldn't happen. We're a better team when he plays up top. When he's playing the 9 or the false 9, however you want to describe it, we're a better team there. And what I saw of Thomas Partey against Chelsea, now, grain of salt, Chelsea stink. But what I saw of Thomas Partey and what I saw in that midfield, that's the midfield. That should have been the midfield from the off at the beginning of the season. That's the midfield. Partey, Rice, Odegaard, period. From this point forward, barring injury, knock on wood, don't mess with it. Partey starts every game from here on out. Not saying he plays full 90. I would not do that. But he starts every game from here on out.
I mean, that one-touch pass that he had to Declan Rice for our first goal was insane. And that's just something that we haven't really seen from Jorginho. He loves to, always take a touch, take his time, make sure he's making like an accurate pass. But Partey just had the eyes for Declan out of the corner of his eye and just hit a one-touch pass over there, and we were instantly gone. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was watching the game with my wife, and before the goal even happened, he passed the corner. Like, this is why, and she's like, okay, like whatever. But this is why I want Partey. Look at that. Jorginho can't do that.
Yeah,
like that one touch, that's all that matters. Like, look at that pass. And she's like, she's passing the ball, so what? And then like literally seconds later, we end up scoring. And it's just like, or even like the dummy that put Caicedo on his ass. He put him on ice.
Oh, put him on his ass.
It's like Jorginho. I just don't think Jorginho has that in his locker. Like, he has the IQ, he has the experience. He's a crafty vet, as they say. I just think Thomas Partey is just a better footballer. He's better for what we want to do to raise the bar. Now the question is he going to be with us next season? I don't know.
But there's the upgrade, right?
I don't, and I said this to you in Chicago. I've been saying this. I don't think, and I said this. I feel like there was a few people I was just talking Arsenal with, especially Scott in Chicago. Shout out Scott in Chicago, awesome dude. There's one thing I've been constantly saying. I don't think there is a Thomas Partey out there. I don't think there's Thomas Partey light. I don't think there's anyone that could do what Thomas Partey does for us. So in upgrading and like figuring that out, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know who we're going to bring in. Who knows? Maybe there's somebody in the Bulgarian Division 3 that's like doing it now and he's young. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to give John a call. Maybe he has like someone in the Ukrainian second division that could do that. I don't know. But I don't see anyone that could replicate what Thomas Partey could do. And if we could get money for, and it sucks because at the end of the day, like if we can get money for him, if we could sell him and get some change, I think we do it. As much as I don't want him to, even like watching performance like this, and even his performance against Chelsea, I don't think it's his best. Like like me and Jack just talked about. He had 2 really nice plays, and he played well. I'm not saying he didn't. He did play well. I've seen him better, and I think he can get better.
I've seen him much better.
So and it's like what do you do? Like I think it's gonna be. I think if there's one player in this entire first team squad that I'm interested to see what we do with, it's probably Thomas Partey, because it's like you want him at his best, but like we didn't even have him, let alone his best. We didn't even have him for most of the season. So it's going to be very interesting to see what we do in that role, in that position. And who knows, like I talked about, we may evolve that. We may not even have a 6 next season. I don't know. I don't know what Arteta is going to do. But yeah, I love Thomas Partey off the pitch, or on the pitch, excuse me. But like, it's getting him on the pitch is it more of a headache?
Keeping him on it is getting him on it, and then keeping him there is, And
I will say one more thing, just because I'm going to forget this. I think we need to upgrade I think we, to an extent, need to upgrade on the left winger, because you said 3 positions. I think it's potentially 4. I don't. Martinelli's interesting. I don't think he's fully fit, so I don't want to like critique him too much. But he really hasn't been at it. He had a better game than what people made it out to be against Chelsea. But I don't. He's not fully healthy. I do want to evolve the left side of the field. I think the whole left side needs a reworking. Whether we bring in new players or just change it up, evolve it. Because going back to the Bayern game, they prepared for Saka. They put 3 left backs on the pitch just to stop our right side because they knew we were going on the right. So they're like, okay, cool, we're gonna throw 3 left backs onto the field and then have Arsenal figure it out. And there were times we went to the left and it just wasn't working. The triangle of Ben White, Odegaard, Saka has where it hasn't maybe created as far as goals, assists on paper this season, but it's created so many chances. And it's just so dynamic, and teams that can't stop it, we either will score from it or we'll create something for Trossard, or we'll create something, somewhere else on the pitch. I think that triangle is so vital for our tactics, for what we want to do. I kind of want to see a triangle on the left because it's okay, cool. You have that triangle on the right. Bayern said, cool, we're just going to put 3 left backs out there. Well, let's just dominate them with our left triangle. We don't really have that right now. So it's going to be interesting to see what Arteta does tactically to fix that, or if it's just an upgrade on Martinelli, or if it's an upgrade on the left 8, or if we bring in another left back, which apparently we're rumored to sign also. So I think I guess I wouldn't be a certain position. I think it's just our left side just needs a complete reworking, whether it's tactically or just bringing in players.
Yeah, Jackson, anything to add there?
I've hated myself for feeling that way over the last few weeks, but I have to agree, Martinelli has just been struggling so much, and I know it's probably due to fitness, almost assuredly, because last year he was incredible, like Stuart pointed out, but that has been, a glaring weakness in our side for the last month, maybe, honestly. And driving it down, one side of the field, is great and all when you're playing against teams that you can outclass. But when you need a more balanced approach, and that's when we've struggled.
Yeah, we need to be. Excuse me. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, you're right. Yeah.
We need to be, more multidimensional against teams. Really, quite frankly, like a Villa, honestly, the scumbags coming up at the weekend. I think it's funny. I think that we are, when it comes to City, and when we kind of compare and scouting reports on the whole team and things like that, we really just kind of cancel each other out. It's the teams that aren't as good as us where we tend to struggle, because the way they want to play us is to just sit back or overload one side defensively, and we can't switch the play fast enough to catch them overloaded on that side, or we just don't see it. One of the two, And I will say that in the past probably month plus, we've really been attacking down the right with Ben White and Bukayo Saka. The left is, we're kind of just leaving Trossard over there to hopefully, get the ball in stride and beat the defender 1v1 and make something happen. That's really what we seem to be hoping for on the left. There doesn't seem to be that same cohesion that we have on the right. So what Ryan said, rework it, be it tactically, be it personnel wise, need to figure out that left side, and figuring that out and getting that number 6. And I'm going to always do this now when it comes to speaking on a specific position, with the exception probably of goalkeeper. Goalkeeper's number 1, period. There's no number 1, but the number 6, whoever that third midfielder might be, if it's not going to be Partey, if we're going to sell him on, whoever that new player is, it's going to come in and make that position his own. He's going to do his own thing. I get what you're saying, Ryan, about there is no Thomas Partey. There's no Thomas Partey like. There's no one else out there like him. You're right. But I don't think we're going to look for someone necessarily that does all of the things he does, as much as what does Arteta want from that role now who fits that role the best that we can bring in. What are you? I see you both. I got to read through the comments now because I see you both giggling. I don't. Okay, I don't know where. I don't know where Stuart's going with this, but it's getting a little intimate in here, isn't it?
I did pull it up real quick. Just I wanted to see if stats were backing up what we seen on the pitch from Martinelli, and he's going to eclipse 2,000 minutes in the next match in the league, which is, I mean, that's a ton of minutes, and that's going to be his second highest tally as in comparison to last year. His XG per 90 and his XA per 90 are the lowest of his entire Arsenal career this year. So,
sorry, Jackson. I'm sorry. I see these guys.
I'm listening.
I was just saying,
a bromance is budding in the live chat here.
He's not creating for others, and he's not getting the same great looks on goal that he used to. And the numbers are showing it, not just our eyes. So I don't know. I mean, and like I said, he's played almost 2,000 minutes. Like I don't know if there's a problem there or if it truly is just he's injured. But
those are butterfly kisses, Tanner.
Oh, the Eskimo kisses are the nose.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, yeah, Jackson. I agree. I think you say fitness. I think he's still carrying an injury. I think it's like kind of like Jesus, or just a nagging injury.
You think?
I think it's crazy. I mean, I could be wrong. I feel like football is like the only sport where, I mean, I think it's a lot of running, a lot of cardio, it's a lot of athleticism involved. But I think it's a one sport where like it's very easy to see someone like carrying an injury, whereas like American football, hockey, baseball, they just take a day off. And I won't get into that. Basketball, even same thing. They kind of just take a day off. But like, yeah, I think we have a lot of players on, and that's another thing. I don't want to like, get a list of excuses going either, but I just think that there is just there's a lot of players, and everyone says like, oh, like, everyone's always hurt. Like you never play at 100%. But we like, since Jesus' knee injury in the World Cup, I hate to say it, I don't think he's going to go back to what he used to do. I think he's never going to be the same. This injury really, really screwed him up. I think he's going to be in pain for the rest of his career. I think he's going to be battling. And he's someone who battles. So like, I'm not worried about that. Now, would I want to sell him? We'll see. For me, honestly, I know I'm looking towards the transfer window, but there's like nobody. I mean, I'm sure I could list a couple people, but there's a lot of players that I'm willing to sell. That people would be like, what? Like I was talking to Ryan Williams. Shout out Ryan Williams, awesome channel. You should check him out on Twitter, and we were going back and forth. And like, I wasn't saying I definitely want to sell Trossard 100%, but like, I want to hear offers. Like, because at the end of the day, like he's our best finisher. He's most clinical in front of the net. But like that shouldn't, like, I don't see him, and I've said this, I don't think he fits into our lineup. And I'm just saying, like, we need to upgrade. We need a killer up front, whether it's a traditional number 9 or something else to evolve the tactics. But we need someone that's a better clinical finisher than Trossard, because Trossard, to me, I don't want to say it's all he brings to the table. That's not. I don't. But I think there are 11 players better than him that should be starting in front of him. But because he's so good in front of net and scores those very important goals for us, you kind of have to play him. And he's kind of like, he's shut me up the last couple of weeks, because I've always said, like, okay, he's a good finisher, but like, I just don't, where does he fit? He likes to play in the middle of the pitch. He kind of plays almost like an inverted left winger, not really. Constantly switching with Kai, constantly switching with even Zinchenko at times, Saka, Odegaard, even Jesus when they're on the pitch together. But I don't see what he brings to the team more than a Martinelli or even a Jesus when Havertz plays a 9. But he just keeps scoring. He keeps scoring. He keeps shutting me up. And it's awesome. I like being proven wrong. I really do. But like, when this season's over with, like, we need to upgrade on him. Or not necessarily him, but we need to upgrade. Just we need to buy someone that has, I guess, in a way, a fitting in the system of 11, but yet being a better footballer and just scoring more goals. And yeah, I just think that I love how I was talking about Martinelli. Now I'm talking about Trossard. I don't know how I got here, but I'm here. I'm here. And yeah, he brought. Yeah, I to be fair, I think it anyway was a Gooner before Trossard. But yeah, no, but yeah,
I'm gonna keep my thoughts to myself on this. By the way,
I'm just gonna cut myself off because I don't even remember what the original point I was trying to make was. But yes, Martinelli.
I think it's what we've spoken about before, Ryan. Where it's we have to acknowledge it is what it is. Trossard is our most deadly finisher. That's what you brought up. But there's a lot of moments in a match where he's not shooting the ball where you're like, we could really use someone else right here in this position.
I'd very much like to see conversion rates.
Yeah,
for us, like individually, I'd like to see conversion rates. His has to be the best of everyone in this. Yeah, I'd love to see conversion rates. So anyway, sorry, Jackson, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. And it goes back to another thing that we've talked about in the past with like our transfer strategy. It's we at Arsenal, we tend to just carry guys on and on and on until they either leave on a free or we've driven them past their prime and you can't even really cash in on what you had. And, Trossard he's going to turn 30 next season. His physique is not, built to, last, late into his 30s. And once he has a dip in form finishing in front of net, then what does he really bring to the squad?
Yeah.
But yeah. And this sucks to say after all he's done for the last few weeks. But if we're talking about seasons moving forward and not just this season, then you have to bring those things up.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. That's kind of like what I guess what we've kind of been talking about. It's just like we need to upgrade. Like we're great. I love this team, but there's always room for improvement. Like I'm not happy until we win every single game. There's always room for improvement. There's always need to upgrade. So like you have to have these difficult conversations. You have to be like, okay, like as much as Trossard has done, for this team. We need to upgrade, and that was kind of what my argument was to Ryan is he's turning 30, he's two years left on his contract. This is like the best chance we're gonna get to sell him. This is the most we're gonna get for him. That's why we need to just and I'm not saying like put him on the trade block, put him on the transfer market and be like, hey, for sale sign, but like at least like put your ear out there and like, listen to offers, listen to what what teams are willing to pay, want to pay. Because I think at the end of the day, you want to avoid the Aubameyang and Ozil contracts. You want to avoid that. And you want to avoid like keeping them because it sucks. But like if it was either sell Trossard or give him an extension, pay him a buttload of money, I'm selling him. And that's just how like it's just he's a great player. He's done great things for us. Don't get me wrong, but like we need to upgrade. And if he's willing to stay on, if he's willing to come off the bench and like us up, and that's the thing too is like I think off the bench I think he'd be great. And it's someone else who's been for me under a microscope, and again someone else he scored 2 goals against Chelsea. Kai Havertz. I think Havertz is definitely like worth the money, and I think he's been a positive buy for us. But we need to upgrade on him, and he could do a lot. I think I think off the bench, if he's our first sub, I think if you're the other team, you're the other manager, you're like, I don't know what they're doing because Kai can play the 9, and
exactly.
Good thing that I'm glad he's not here because me and him will get into arguing about this, and I don't think he's amazing at the left 8. I don't think he's like playing out of his mind. I don't. But like I don't think he's playing bad. Everyone says, "Oh, he's so bad left 8." No, I just think he's a better 9. I think he's just playing into the 9 better. I think as a left 8, I think it's just a late runner. It's a person outside the box, kind of creating that havoc in case we kind of go through the sides and then we build back out. I just don't think I don't really think that fits his characteristics. I think he's a big guy. I think I don't want to say he's physical, but he uses his body for things that we need.
Right.
I think him being as tall as he is definitely a positive. Granted, I don't know if he has any headed goals for us. Maybe 1, maybe 2, but I think he's a player where I think he's a great player for us. I think he might be someone also who I think is kind of like at his peak. Maybe he'll get better. I don't know because Arteta's system is so complicated.
Ryan,
he's someone you bring off the. No, I'm talking.
I just want you to know that I hear all of the words.
Okay, great.
All
Yeah,
of them.
All right, but you're dealing with something else, so you deal with that something else. But
I heard what you said, and I agree with what you. I agree with what you said. We don't. I don't think we disagree on the Havertz thing. It's. He's not playing poorly at the left 8, and I'll just say this, and then
you said he was.
He's not. I don't think
you said this
works.
does not work.
I don't. It doesn't
this does
work.
not work.
What I should have said was it doesn't work as well as him playing in the 9. That's how I probably should have said it, because you're right. He's not playing poorly, but I would say this: if he's above average, it's just a hair above average in the left 8. We're a better side when he's playing in that number 9. Sorry, continue your thought.
No, I mean,
you were on a roll, man. You were like,
no, I was, and you kind of just like here.
I will say when he's playing the left 8, it kind of just reminds me of a player who's just trying not to make mistakes. Like, he's not really looking to advance the ball. He's knocking it backwards a ton, or just right to the side, just finding the easiest pass near him. He's just playing not to make mistakes, and that's why I don't like him playing there. I don't think that fits, Arteta's system right now.
No, I agree. I'm very curious, and I'm sure there's a game that this happened, but I kind of want to I guess rewatch it. I'm curious to see if there was a game where Kai played left 8 and Trossard played the 9. I'm very curious to see how we played, because I think if we want Kai to excel, I think that's probably our best. And not Trossard the left. I think Trossard as the 9, because I think Trossard is like really prolific. I'm just my brain things just keep popping in my brain. I'm just gonna spew them out. I'm very curious to see Trossard's goals and like where they come from, because I think he scored most, which is funny because I think Trossard's worst position for us is on that left wing, and I think it's where he scored most of our goals. So, what the fuck do I know? And to be a Scunner, yeah, I do. I think. Granted, when we were killing Chelsea, so like obviously Vieira bringing him on, the game was already dead. But I think he has done the best Saka impression we have seen over the past couple seasons. And there's been a lot of players that have played his position when he's come off, whether via due to injury or just fitness or whatever. I thought he was really good. Now, is that his role for us? I don't know. It's like his first minutes in quite some time. But yeah, that's the thing you got to worry about too. Like your Vieiras, your Nelsons, your ESRs, like those are 3 players. I was gonna say Eddie. I think since we need to upgrade desperately at 9, I think Eddie just goes. I think he has to go unless he's willing to be the 3rd choice and never play, which I guess. But I think we can make a profit off him, obviously, because we didn't buy him for anything. I just think those 3, Nelson, ESR, Vieira, and we might sell all 3. We might keep all 3. I think those 3 are going to be very interesting to see. What we do in the window, because they're players that like they need to get minutes, and we really need to see what they got, because we need to see what position they play. Because Vieira's played the 10, he's played the left 8, and he's played the right. ESR has played the 10, played the left 8. I think he was either on the left or the right. When I think he came on and played the right. I'm not sure. Reece Nelson has played the left. He's played the right. I don't know. I just think it's just so much. And I think that's why I like talking about transfers, like especially right now, because it's like you need to prepare for next year. You need to like, in a way, like build your dream team, but like you need to be covered in all facets, covered in all positions. And like you need to know like what works, what doesn't work, because come the transfer window, like, you need to know what you need to buy or what you're selling, and also you need to know what you're selling. Because then teams can pay a little bit more, and other teams may be interested. But if you're playing, for argument's sake, a Vieira who's like, hey, he played like 5 minutes as a 10, 5 minutes as a right wing, it's like, well, what are we selling him for? Who are we selling him to? I think developing these players is going to also be vital into us kind of like raising the bar and putting our head above Chelsea.
Yeah, it's all good stuff. Let's get into, this is a really bad segue, but let's get into a little North London derby preview here, because it is arguably one of the most important North London derbies in recent memory. I mean, they're all important. I am. It's funny. I heard a lot of people talk about their hatred of United over the weekend, more so than Tottenham, and I get why. I know why, and I fully understand it. But it's still that for me, it's that neighborly. Well, it's not neighborly, but it's that proximity thing. It's just they're always in our shadow. They're always talking shit, and they have no reason to. Like at least United fans, like they can talk shit, right? Like they have the history to back up the things that they say, whether we like it or not. They do. Tottenham don't have that, and that's what drives me nuts. Is all these shit talkers that they have in their fan base. And they want to banter us. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, I just like your little brother who is constantly trying to play with the big boys, and you can't. You're not allowed. You're going to get hurt. Stop it. Find your level, because this ain't it. That's how I feel about them, and I hate them. I hate them infinitely more than I hate anyone else in the league. Although I will say that City are creeping up on them, because right now I probably hate City more than I hate United, more than I hate Liverpool. It's weird. It's the rivalry aside. I think it's always been, or the rivalry, given the rivalry that we have with United, it's healthy. You know what I mean? Both teams, both sides have always been successful. It's the same thing with Liverpool. City, they're nothing. They've been nothing. They're new money. Spurs have never been anything. They never were anything. They are not anything right now, and they will never be anything. They are the opposite of Bret the Hitman Hart. They are the worst there is, the worst there was, and the worst that there ever will be. But anyway, so sorry.
I love that.
Sorry for the little rant, but so. Again, with everything that is riding on this game, they're all important. All 38 games, no matter what, no matter when, they're all important. And again, I'll bring up Fulham with us. 3 matches into the season, we draw Fulham at home. Inexcusable. But at this stage of the season, everything riding on this. So I don't even know. I don't even know where to start with a preview of this. We're, in my opinion, so clearly the better side, but it's a derby, and you just never know. Let's start with, what are you changing, if anything, from Tuesday against Chelsea lineup wise in this game? Jackson, I'll start with you.
That's what I was going to ask you guys. What Tomiyasu or Kiwi obviously is the big question at left back. I think that he's probably going to run out the same 11 that faced Chelsea. That's what I think. But do you guys think that he'll go with a more, since we're, on the road, do you think he'll go with a more conservative 11 with Kiwi out there and then bring on Tomiyasu in the second half? What do you think?
Ryan?
I like Kiwior the player. I think his place with us is to be a left center back. He should be back up for Gabriel. I hope it sucks. It sucks to say that, because I'm sure he wants to play more. He needs to make that spot his, because we do, at the end of the day, who is the backup to Saliba if Saliba and Gabriel go down? We don't have it. You'd probably say Ben White, Tomiyasu, Kiwior, but Ben White plays every game. Tomiyasu, honestly, I think I want him to be the left back right now. And it kind of goes through your saying, do you want Kiwior or do you want Tomiyasu? I kind of want Tomiyasu right now. I mean, it also depends on what Timbers does. And if Timber is our left back, then you have Tomiyasu, Kiwior at center back. I just don't, where he is in his development as a player, not even on Arteta's system, as a player, I don't think Kiwior is ready to take on left back for Arsenal Football Club. As far as the big games, the big Champions games, the big, Premier League games, if we're playing Sheffield, Bournemouth, even like a Wolves team, like middle of the pack, maybe. But I think for his footballing career, I think if he wants to just become a better footballer, because he's young. Kivior is what is he, 21, 22? He's young.
Oh yeah, he's very.
He needs to, and like for a defenseman that's very young, it's even younger. So I think for him, it's just be a better footballer. Don't worry about what's up, Lone Star. Don't worry about being this left back that Zinchenko was, because that's essentially the shoes he was filling. Don't worry about this system. Just become. Kivior is the one player, in my opinion, who's getting the most minutes, anyways. Who it's just like, I just want you to be a better footballer, and I like the player. I think there are bits where you're like, okay, I see why you bought him. I think he could work in this 11 at some point. He's young. He needs to develop. He needs to develop his footballing skills, not Arteta's system skills, not Arsenal skills. His just being a better footballer skills, and I think he has that in his system. I think he can. I think he has that in his locker. So I kind of don't want to see him play left back, because I think you're kind of taking away from him developing just as a footballer, and you're kind of just like pushing this like Arteta system. You're playing left back. You're doing this, that, and the other thing. So yeah, I personally, whereas like I want to see him get minutes, I don't know if left back is the place I want to see him at. And I think as long as Tomiyasu's healthy, I think he starts for me all the time. And to go back to the original question, I'm starting the same 11 against Chelsea. And I'm gonna fall into this trap again, because I always do and I always will, and it's fine. I would start Martinelli over Trossard, just because I think with Ugadoogie, whatever his name is,
Ugadoogie.
Whatever. He's out for the season. I think he's their right back, right? Yeah,
he's done for the year. Yeah,
they're gonna play Emerson Royale, who's like a walking red card, and like Trossard, I think will have his day with him, but like, I want to send speed at them. Like, I want to send Martinelli at them. And that's the thing, too. Like, when Tottenham played Newcastle, I think we were, like, relatively on similar levels. Newcastle just outworked them. They just played harder, and they ran at them. And Tottenham can't handle that. And so, me, I want Martinelli. I want the runners to run at them. Especially with like a player like Emerson Royale and like Romero, like I just don't think I'd rather have that speed early on. But again, Trossard will start and he'll score an early goal and it'll shut me up like he always does, and that's fine too. But if I really want to get nitty gritty, like yeah, I'm definitely gonna choose Martinelli over Trossard just from the speed factor.
Do you guys remember the 11 that we sent out against them in the first match this season? I just pulled it up.
Oh, no, I don't.
Eddie started at the 9 and played a full 90 minutes.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Had Fabio Vieira at the left 8 and then Zinchenko at left back. So all three of those positions are almost assuredly going to be different. So, and I'm pretty sure that's the side that Son kept drifting to and destroying us in that match, if my memory serves me correct.
He's just on the left, yeah. What's funny? I can see. I'm not saying I would start him or he should start, but I can see Zinchenko starting. I just because of what we want to do in the midfield and like how we can overwhelm them in the midfield and just run at them with speed. Not saying Zinchenko's fast. Zinchenko's not fast, but I think it'll be interesting to see if Zinchenko starts. I wouldn't hate it, but I'd rather Tomiyasu start. And again, I think Arteta is someone who is like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And 5-0 against Chelsea, it ain't broke. So I would definitely rather see Tomiyasu.
Jackson,
Eddie.
Yeah. Jackson, what's your thought on the lineup?
I think,
you going with the same 11 or?
Yeah, I mean Tomiyasu is obviously I've talked about him a ton the 2 times I've been on here. He's one of my favorite players in the squad, and I'm so glad that we extended him. I think he can do so much on a soccer pitch. And so, I'm definitely going with him there. Then also, I know we give Kai a hard time, but those 2 goals that he scored a couple of days ago, those were pure striker goals.
Yeah.
We have not really seen that from him this year, and those were actual pure striker goals. So maybe something's being unlocked there. And then I have to agree with Ryan. I definitely we talked about Martinelli's struggles, but we saw what happened to Tottenham with the Newcastle match a few weeks back. They just got overwhelmed, and I agree with him there. I think we just need to push the pace and run at them as much as we can. And the chat's bringing up a good point. Tottenham's going to be sitting on that match for 15 days come match time since they lost 4-0 to Newcastle. So a lot of people are bringing up that we're going to have played 4 matches compared to their 1, but is it really good for them to be sitting on a 4-0 loss for 2 weeks? I don't know. We'll see.
Well, so yeah, like Gregory says, and I guess our blog made the point. We made the point when we had 19 days off in March. So which would you rather have? Would you rather be them coming into this game on 14 days rest, or would you rather be us now sort of rediscovering our good form, with the results against Wolves and Chelsea? And I don't even think that we played poorly against Bayern, to be honest. So I'll even go back that far to say that I think we're in a decent run of form right now. It's funny, man. Having the 19 days off, it's like, well, you're going to lose sharpness. Having 14 days off, you're going to lose some sharpness, but you're going to get healthy. You're going to get some rest, and you're going to have your legs under you. I think that, given the way that we have looked, and I said this to Ryan on Saturday in the first half against Wolves, we looked tired. We looked gassed in that first half against Wolves. The second half was like we came out, but see, kind of the same thing. First half against Villa, we looked fine. We looked at it in the first half, just couldn't finish. But then in the second half, we looked gassed. We looked absolutely winded. We're Jordan in Game 6 of the '98 finals, tugging on his shorts at the end of the game. You know what I mean? That's what we looked like. Bayern, I didn't see that. I didn't see tiredness. I didn't see leggy. I saw a little bit of hesitancy. That's what I saw. Wolves in the first half saw that same tug on the shorts kind of thing, bent over at the waist. But then in the second half, completely on it. Chelsea, we're at it from the go, right? So what are we going to get in this first half, in this game coming up on Sunday? I'm expecting to see what we saw, perhaps not the same with the same end product, the same results, but I expect to see the same energy levels that we saw on Tuesday. So I guess if we're in a good run of form, I guess it's like this. If you're in a good run of form, I think you want to stay in that form. You want to play, right? You want to maintain that sharpness. If you've dropped a few, you want that time off. So really, when we look at this, Tottenham's last game out was Newcastle, right? 4-0 battering that they took at St. James's Park. So you want the time off. You like, okay, wow, we're in a bad way. Let's take some time off, hit the reset button, and figure this out. So I think it's good for them in that case. In our case, we've got some momentum. We've got some energy. It's amazing what scoring a goal will do for your energy levels. I think we've got some energy, and that's, it's going to be good for us. So I really think both teams coming into this are looking at it saying we probably got the best thing contextually that we could get right now. So, lineup wise, I don't want to change a thing. I really don't. I do not want to see Zinchenko starting in there. I want Tomiyasu. I think, and I said this even when Kivior was playing well. I still thought Tomiyasu was the better defender. He's the better overall player. He's a better defender out there. He is better. He is better at I don't want to say he doesn't. No one does what Zinchenko does. He's just a better overall footballer, all around footballer. I don't,
He doesn't have a ton of weaknesses. Like you said, he might not be excellent at one specific trait, but he's, an equivalent to like a 5-tool player in baseball. I mean, he's got it all.
Yeah, he can really do it all from that position. And we did see that, maybe not to the degree that Zinchenko does, but he was really drifting into midfield on Tuesday night against Chelsea. Like, he really was drifting in there and sort of playing that role. I even saw moments where he was getting further forward than what Zinchenko will do. So I would not change a thing. I like Trossard out on the left. Martinelli just, again, as you have both said, he just seems off it right now. Ryan, your point with Martinelli is taken, and I like it. I like it in theory, but it's a matter of applying it and hoping that it works the way you want it to work that scares me. Because if it doesn't, does he have that mistake in him like he did against Bayern, where he does something goofy and all of a sudden you're like, fuck, Trossard's not going to do that. You know what I mean? And we're left with that. So start Trossard in this game. This is not a game to be messing with anything. We're on the road. It's a massive game. It's the North London Derby. We know what's working. Stick with that. That's what we need. If you want to change anything, change it against Bournemouth the week after. I'm perfectly content with that. So, Stan jumping in. How are you, sir? We are just about to, I think, wrap it up, Stan. So, but thank you for jumping in. We appreciate that. And yeah, like Gregory says, exploit their high line. We did that well in the first game, I thought.
That's why I want Martinelli to play.
I hear you. It just worries me.
Also, real quick, Eddie started against them in our second game against them last season. So we have yet to see Kai against team. Kai came on as a sub when we played in the return leg. I don't know. I don't think he came on as a striker though. So it's gonna be they're going to look at us and I don't think they're gonna know what to do. I think they're in for a rude awakening. I will be shocked if we don't beat them by at least 2 goals, or if we beat them by a goal, we're gonna dominate them. They're gonna see a different Arsenal. They're gonna see Kai. They're not gonna see Eddie and Kedia. Even if so we're going back to the last game. Partey was injured. Trossard was injured. Martinelli was injured. All 3 of those players didn't play. I hope, and I think, and I hope all 3 players will have a big impact in this game, and they're not ready for them. And another like Kai Havertz, he came on the 74th minute, so it's the only thing I'm worried about is Son. And he's the type of striker that Saliba and Gabriel have trouble with. He's an Ollie Watkins type, which Ollie Watkins, he ran past us twice. Goal, hit the post. I am worried with Son. Son's going to get his chances. It's just a matter if he capitalizes. Nico Jackson, to be fair to him, he ran bad. He got chances.
Yeah. Oh, he got so many opportunities.
He's just so bad, which we knew going in, so it was like whatever. Another player, a player that worried me against Chelsea, like again, it's the same kind of player. Manduke, it's quick. Tomiyasu had him for the most part. But there was a few times like Tomiyasu expected him to run, and he ran. He kind of started running to track him, and then he still ran past him, still burned him. So, and Son's a quick player too. So it's gonna be interesting to see how we kind of bottle Son up. But besides that, like a Madison passes Son is really all I'm really worried about. But like, we need to just run at them and suffocate them and play them. I'm not saying treat them like they're Sheffield United, they're going down, because they're not. But like, we need to play against them like we played against them. We just run at them and we suffocate them. We step on their neck and it's done in the first half, because they're not gonna, they're a team that isn't built for that. They're not going to be able to handle. They couldn't handle Newcastle. If they can't handle Newcastle, they're sure as shit not going to be able to handle us, especially with the players that are coming back, the players we have on our bench. We're not starting Eddie and Kedia up top. And again, I feel bad. I always feel bad trashing Eddie, because when he does play an extended period of games for us, he does play well. But our standards are raised. They're raised now, and we have better players than Eddie and Kedia. We're going to be better than Eddie and Kedia, next season in playing 5-6 games if Jesus is hurt. We have that answer in Kai Havertz. Even Trossard, I think Eddie is probably 4th on that list. Yeah, it's definitely well said, Lone Star. Kai's the limit. I think, and I don't know if you guys know, or I don't know if it was announced who our ref is for the game, but I just hope we get a ref that isn't negligent, because they're going to foul us. They're going to pick up yellows against us. If the
Saka's going to get whacked.
If the ref even if the ref is like remotely on his shit, they should be trying to bully us and foul us there and there. We just need to just keep going, keep bringing them. those yellow cards accumulate. They turn into red sometimes. They will get, and they're also a team that gets very frustrated. They have hot-headed players on their team that get easily frustrated. They have Cucureas on their team that get easily frustrated and fuck up. So, I don't see how we don't just batter them, which sucks because I'm not this confident too much, but when I am, I feel like it's almost never good. But I just, and I guess going back to I don't know. I think it was Gregory's thing, or maybe it was Stewart. I'm not sure. I prefer momentum over rest, unless that rest is us in Dubai. That's different. But yeah, growing up, like being in tournaments, being in things where it's like, okay, like, yeah, the team had like a day more rest or they had a bye. I still would rather be the team that plays the extra game or, played more recently. It's just my experience, I guess. So that's usually what I like. And I think with this team, as far as I know, we didn't pick up any new injuries. So I think this team prefers the momentum as well.
To answer your question, Michael Oliver is the official.
As he makes a game about him, which is unfortunate, but like in a way that's good because he will blow the whistle. He is a ref that generally likes to blow the whistle a lot and call a lot of things. So in a way that is kind of better for us. I think we have a really good record with him. I don't know, but it's
VAR is Jared Gillett.
I don't know.
Whatever that means.
VAR will never help us, so I don't even give a fuck who VAR is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't work when we need it to anyway. I just hope we play our game, stay focused, run at them, and the chips will fall, and we will put a couple past them at least.
From your lips to God's ears. What's for dinner? Who was it that keeps asking? Stuart wants to know what's for dinner. I'm making Italian wedding soup in the crock pot right now, Stuart. That's my dinner for tonight.
Italian wedding soup.
What?
I don't like it. I'm sorry.
I like Italian. Okay.
No, you can. You can like Italian wedding. I just don't like Italian wedding.
Fuck, man.
Nothing wrong. I'm not like upset.
You'll eat what I make and you'll like it or you'll starve.
You have like crackers on the side or something, or some kind of.
No, you put pasta in it. No crackers. Way too many carbs, man. Way too many carbs. What's for dinner?
I love my
Stuart wants to know what's for dinner. He's yelling at us in all caps. Jackson, what's for dinner?
I think some Italian sausage pasta. There's some carbs.
Yeah.
The Italian stuff. That's fine. I like that over Italian wedding soup. Fucking soup boy. You are
Ryan?
soup boy.
For dinner.
Dude, I don't know yet. Dude, my wife left. She went to Long Island. She's looking to buy a car. And she has her alumni volleyball game. So I'm kind of like left to my devices.
Brother, treat yourself.
Yeah, I might, dude.
I don't know. Wait, Jackson, treat himself to what? Pizza and French fries and a chocolate shake. That's what it's gonna be.
Well, I'm kind of pizza out. I don't think I'm gonna get pizza. But there are. Ooh, you know what? No free ads here, but it's bonus Thursday at Buffalo Wild Wings. And I'm not a big Buffalo Wild Wings guy, but buy one get one. I mean, they have really good, chili. You know what I'm gonna do? My thing that I love to get at the Buffalo Wild Wings. Chili queso tater tots. Oh, so good. I'm gonna just devour that. It's a shame they don't have chocolate shakes. I would definitely get a chocolate shake with that.
Yeah, we all know you would get a chocolate.
Also, and then I love French fries. I gotta say something.
I
like tater tots way more than French fries. I wish I had tater tots in Chicago. I'm a big tater tot guy. I've had bad tater tots though. Like a good tater, to me, as far as potatoes go, nothing beats. I love chili con queso, so I cannot wait for you to talk about that, Jackson. I cannot wait.
Yeah, let's hear it, man. What you got?
Hold on, I'm almost done. A good potato-wise, nothing beats a very good, well-made tater tot. Phenomenal.
We should have a food podcast at this point.
Also, yes, I gotta figure my food out too because Knicks are on and what are they on 7:30? Oh,
7 or 7:30.
Yeah, I'm excited. Hold on, Gregory.
Got that and the NFL draft.
If Gregory's not a Knicks fan, kick him out. Oh yeah, NFL. I don't care. The Knicks playoff. Knicks playoff.
Yeah.
Greg's in Philly. He's your enemy.
Oh,
tonight.
Greg, no. Well, it's a shame you guys can get swept by the Knicks, but also, Gregory, are you going to the game against? We play Liverpool in Philly, right? Trust the process. Yeah. Right. you know, Gregory, when we sweep you, I'll buy you a beer in Philly if you're going to the Arsenal game.
Oh, they're not sweeping Philly.
Okay.
Nah.
Doesn't matter. They're not Philly ain't beating us. I don't
think Philly are beating them, but I don't think the Knicks are this.
After they didn't come away with game 2, it's big trouble for Philly.
Yeah.
It's a 7:30 tip.
I was screaming at my television during that game. And I was at my parents' house, so they were not happy. But yeah, whatever. I will say though, the one Philly team I do support. I'm not a big MLS guy, but I do love the Philly Union. I went to a Union game for my my friend Greg's bachelor party. Not you, Gregory. We went to a Philly Union game, and it was awesome. Big Philly Union guy.
Greg, we're gonna be. I fully intend on getting a pretty good tailgate set up. Hopefully, I don't know, Ryan. You and I got to talk if you guys are going to be driving down, which I would assume you are, to Philly.
I don't know. We might. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, we'll talk about it, but I do fully intend on setting up an awesome tailgate. I think I've got a pretty good tailgate set up. So we'll be doing that. So stay tuned for that. Stuart, thank you, man, for being in the chat. We really appreciate it. Hey, if you're not already, we would greatly appreciate a subscription to the channel and leave a thumbs up for me on your way out the door. If you would, please, and thank you.
I don't know why. When someone says parking lot beers, I get like excited. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Let's go.
Parking lot beers, like, oh yeah, count me in. The last time we talked about parking lot beers, I like browned out at the Pirates game. That's parking lot beers. Well, to be fair, parking lot beers turn into Crown Royale apple drinks, which isn't really a parking lot beer.
Gregory, by the way, thank you for the subscription, my friend. Appreciate that. And we will look forward to seeing you in Philly as well. So stay tuned. We'll get in touch. Jackson, these are your boys, right? Gregory and Stuart.
Yeah, some Columbia boys.
Nice. So we'll definitely be in touch, and we'll keep you posted on tailgate and parking lot beer.
What's Philly's beer?
Yards.
Do they have one? What?
Yards. Anything yards will be good.
Yards.
Yingling is probably
because Chicago it was what was it, I think it was Old Style. That was pretty good.
Something like that.
Like Natty Bo was Baltimore. Like I like to take in urine. So it said urine, so that's fine. Yingling is definitely a Pennsylvania beer, but I wouldn't like consider like their beer. Whereas like Natty Bo is Maryland. I would say Old Style is Chicago. Yeah, yards.
I would say that it's got to be like yards.
Oh, I love Crow Milk. Fuck, dude, I gotta watch Always Sunny. I'm gonna probably put Always Sunny on tonight.
I haven't
watched that show in so long.
All right, boys, let's get into a final thought here because we're pushing an hour and 45. So, Jackson, give me a final thought heading into the North London Derby here before we get really off topic and just sit around and bullshit all night.
I'm feeling confident about this game. It's like Ryan said. I mean, it took a long time to get here in these big matches, but we have the best record against the Big Six this year. I think we're, the most consistent team in the league. I don't think we're going to take this game lightly at all. I mean, Arteta's a master motivator, and it's not like he needed any help, but Liverpool gave us a huge warning of what can happen at your rival's pitch if you don't come ready to play. So I think the boys are going to be ready to rock. And like Ryan said, we just have too many advantages to, run at their defense. And I think we're at least going to score a couple goals, if not 3 or 4. And then we have the best defense in the league. So come on, you Gunners.
Ryan?
I mean, I'm trying to think of what I didn't already say. I just don't see Tottenham like hanging with us. I don't, unless something like crazy happens. I think we're just a much better team. We really don't have to worry about one player in their squad. And I think hopefully our boys are just buzzing and they're just still riding that 5-0 high in Chelsea. Because I honestly think Chelsea are a better team than Tottenham. Chelsea are not a good team. To be fair, I think Chelsea don't do things tactically right, and their formations are wonky. But I think player for player, I think Chelsea are a better team. So, sour. Oh, B's gonna talk about sour beer. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm looking at chat. My hand is over the chat right now. No, yeah, I expect us to throttle them. I really do. I just want us to play with the passion and the hunger, because this title race isn't over. 4-0, City won, cool, awesome. We still have games to play, and I want to finish strong regardless. I want to see what we're made of. This run in Tottenham, you got United still. It's going to be interesting to see how we handle it. We handled Chelsea pretty well, and I want to see some of these players also get back into form. That's why I kind of want to see Martinelli play, because I want to see him to get back to his normal self, because where I did tweet that I don't think he will get back to his normal self this season, I just think that there is something to plan on that left side in the offseason. And I want to see Martinelli shine too, because where he is not an Arsenal Academy product, I almost feel like he is. So obviously holds a little special place in my heart for that.
Yeah. I will shout out the chat, Gregory and Stuart. Guys, thank you both for being out there. Thanks for dropping subscriptions on the channels. Bronx Gunner Russ Morgan was out there. Stan jumped in late, as did Lone Star Londoner Bronx Gunner as well. Good stuff, guys. We really appreciate it. As I said, if you haven't already, please drop a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel, pass it around to your friends, your family, your coworkers. We would greatly appreciate it. We are 6 away from 1,000 subscribers, and would really, really, really like to hit that mark. Hopefully now by the end of the season. That would be fantastic. Yeah, I think that's it. Like I said, if you made it this far, thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on the replay and you made it this far, thank you. If you're watching on Twitter, X, thank you very much. That's where most of the views at this point are coming from. So thank you to everybody out there who tuned in today, interacting in the chat. We really appreciate it, guys. That's it for us. It's been good footy talk. We'll see you out there.